It's 5:30 p.m., everyone is hungry, and I'm standing in front of the open fridge like it's going to speak to me. Just staring, waiting for inspiration to strike, waiting for the fridge to say, hey, here's a great idea. Here are all the ingredients you need. You're welcome. It does not say that. It never fucking says that. It just hums at me while I slowly lose the will to cook anything at all. So I do what any reasonable person does. I grab my phone and I start looking for a quick weeknight dinner. Something simple, something fast. I find this gorgeous recipe, beautiful photos, looks amazing, and I start reading the ingredients, and it needs something called freekeh and tahini marinated halloumi and pomegranate molasses, and I don't have any of those things, and I don't even fully know what freekeh is. And now it's 5:45 p.m. and I'm no closer to dinner than I was 15 minutes ago, except now I'm also pissed off. This is my life every single damn day. After more than 30 years of feeding people, my brain has just checked out at the dinner department entirely. And I know I'm not the only one. I'm Debbie, a holistic nutritionist, which means I look at the whole person, body, mind, and spirit, not just one piece of the puzzle. And today, I want to talk about something that does not get nearly enough airtime in the nutrition world, let alone any other avenue of the world. The absolute exhaustion of figuring out what the fuck to cook when everyone in your house eats differently. Because in my house, we're dealing with plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free, all at the same time. And the internet's version of an easy weeknight dinner was absolutely not written for my kitchen. But eating well within these constraints is genuinely doable without spending 45 minutes reading labels or Googling whether your corn tortillas have been contaminated by someone's terrible decision making. More on that in a minute. You just need a different approach, fewer complicated recipes, and more reliable building blocks that work for everyone at the table. So let's talk about it. The mental load of feeding a family is enormous, and nobody talks about it enough. It's not just the cooking, it's the thinking about the cooking, and the planning, the remembering what everyone can and can't eat, checking the fridge, realizing you're out of something, and then pivoting. All of this happening in your head while simultaneously doing approximately 40 other fucking things. And here's what that mental load is actually doing to your body, because it always comes back to food. Decision fatigue is real. By 5:30 p.m., your brain has already made hundreds of decisions throughout the day. And by the time dinner rolls around, the part of your brain responsible for creative problem solving has basically clocked out for the day. So you stare at a fridge full of food and feel like there's nothing to eat. Not because there's nothing there, but because your brain is just done. And what happens when we can't figure out what to cook? We either throw something together that doesn't satisfy everyone, we order in, or we snack our way through the evening instead of eating a real meal. The last one, it wrecks your blood sugar, disrupts your sleep, and leaves everyone looking for food again by 9 p.m., wondering why we're still hungry. The fix is not more recipe browsing. The fix is having a small set of reliable building blocks that work for every dietary need at your table, so that by 5:30 p.m., you are assembling dinner, not inventing it from scratch. And before we get into solutions, I need to talk about something that makes dietary restrictions so much harder than they need to be. The completely baffling ingredient decisions that food manufacturers have made that you only discover while squinting at the food labels in the grocery store. Soy sauce, made from soy, literally called soy sauce. And yet, gluten? Wheat is literally one of the main ingredients in traditional soy sauce, a soy-based product with wheat in it. Who the hell signed off on that? I genuinely want to know. And corn tortillas. Corn and tortillas. You would think corn, salt, water, done. Naturally gluten-free, right? Except check the label on half the brands at your grocery store, and you will find wheat flours just hanging out in there in corn tortillas for absolutely no damn reason. And milk in flour tortillas? Google a basic tortilla recipe. Flour, water, salt, fat. That's it. Nobody fucking asked for dairy in there, and yet, here we are. This is why dietary restrictions are so exhausting. And it's not just avoiding the obvious things. It is reading the label on literally everything because someone somewhere made a completely unnecessary ingredient decision, and now it's your damn problem. And you can't keep buying the same things without reading the ingredient labels because they change them all the goddamn time. Frustrating. So here's your cheat sheet. For soy sauce, use tamari, but you have to read the label and make sure it's the one that actually says gluten-free. And what pisses me off about that is that tamari is naturally gluten-free. I wish I was joking. Read everything. For tortillas, corn tortillas should be fine, but again, check every single time because brands vary. Corn flour, water, salt, that's it. Wheat flour on the label, put it back. So I need you to stop thinking in recipes and start thinking in components. Protein, carbs, vegetables, flavor. Those 4 things mix and match every night. That's the whole system. In my house, protein is almost always tofu, lentils, or beans, plant-based, naturally gluten-free, naturally dairy-free, and always on hand. Non-negotiable. The carbs rotate. Rice, corn tortillas, or potatoes when I need something fast. Cook potatoes any way you want them, 15 minutes, not just for breakfast, and I will die on that hill. The vegetable is almost always peppers and onions because they cook fast. They go with everything and make your kitchen smell amazing. And it smells like you've been cooking for hours when you haven't. And I always keep frozen vegetables on hand, even if it's just peas. Frozen vegetables are not a compromise. They are picked and frozen at peak nutrition, and they have saved dinner in my house more times than I can count. And then flavor. This is where the whole meal changes direction without changing anything else. Cumin, chili powder, garlic, tacos. Tamari, ginger, sesame, Asian bowl. Smoked paprika, oregano, canned tomatoes, Mediterranean. Same base, completely different dinner every time. So let me give you the specific meals in regular rotation in my house. They're fast, they work for every dietary need, and 0 freekeh required. Tacos and burrito bowls. These are a family favorite. Black beans or lentils, peppers and onions, rice or corn tortillas, avocado, a squeeze of lime, some salsa, 20 minutes. It is not a sad restrictive meal, it's just good food. Bean burgers with salad, canned beans mashed with garlic, onions, spices, formed into a patty, pan-fried, add a simple salad, and you have a proper meal with solid protein and fiber in about 25 minutes. Breakfast for dinner. Yes, breakfast for dinner. Eggs, homemade hash browns. I'll use leftover cooked, cooled potatoes if I have them. Otherwise, I will cook them while everything else is going on. Cooked peppers and onions, 15 minutes, a little longer if I have to cook the potatoes from scratch. Naturally gluten-free, naturally dairy-free, real food with actual protein and vegetables, and everyone thinks it's a treat. It's not a treat. It's a Tuesday, but it works every single time. And pancakes. Yes, pancakes for dinner. When you're truly running on empty, pancakes. Gluten-free flour blend or oat flour, dairy-free milk, done. Nobody in the history of families has ever complained about pancakes for dinner. Ever. Coconut milk-based curry over rice, canned chickpeas or tofu, coconut milk, canned tomatoes, curry powder over rice, 25 minutes. Plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free, genuinely delicious, and even better the next day. And if you don't like chickpeas or tofu, then just throw in some potatoes. It's really that easy. And soup. There is always a soup day. Quick, ready in about 30 minutes, and delicious. But none of this works without the right stuff on hand. My non-negotiables are canned beans, lentils, firm tofu, rice, corn tortillas in the freezer, peppers, onions, garlic, frozen veg, gluten-free tamari, canned tomatoes, coconut milk, avocados, either fresh or frozen, cumin, smoked paprika, chili powder, oregano, garlic powder, onion powder, gluten-free flour or oat flour for pancake emergencies. From those ingredients, you can make tacos, burrito bowls, bean burgers, curry, fried rice, frittatas, pancakes on any weeknight in under 30 minutes, and for people with completely different dietary needs. The goal is not to have everything. The goal is always to have enough of the right things so that dinner is just an assembly job, not a major fucking crisis. After 30 plus years of feeding people, I've made my peace with the fact that I am never going to be the person who meal preps on Sundays with everything in matching containers. That is not my life, and honestly, it sounds exhausting. What works for is a small set of reliable ingredients, a loose framework of protein, carb, vegetables, and flavor, and the knowledge that dinner doesn't have to be perfect to be good. It just has to be real food that everyone at the table can actually eat and on the table before 8 p.m. with enough damn energy left to enjoy the evening. And when all else fails, pancakes. Always pancakes. So subscribe for more no BS nutrition advice, and I'll see you in the next one.